You know that feeling, that little tickle in your throat or that sudden loud bark, a cough. We've all been there. And usually we just think of it as a pain, right? Something we need to get rid of. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if that cough is actually your body trying to tell you something really important? Let's dig in. Yeah, what if that cough isn't the problem, but a clue? A sophisticated signal in a kind of detective story your body is telling. Well, today we're going to crack the code. We're going to treat the cough not as the villain, but as the first witness in a pretty fascinating case. So, first things first, what even is a cough technically? Well, it's a protective reflex. And that word protective is everything. Think of a cough as the bouncer for your lungs. Its one and only job is to forcefully throw out anything that shouldn't be there, whether it's a bit of food that went down the wrong way, some dust, or just extra mucus. It's one of your body's most important defense mechanisms. So how does this whole protective engine work? I mean, it feels pretty simple, but it's not just some random spasm. It is a highly coordinated, super fast event that's completely orchestrated by your nervous system. This whole thing happens in 3 lightning-fast steps. First up, sensation. Tiny little sensors in your throat and lungs basically scream, "Hey, intruder here!" and they send an emergency signal up a nerve highway. Step 2, coordination. That signal hits the cough command center deep in your brainstem, which immediately issues the order to cough. And finally, expulsion. Your diaphragm and chest muscles take in a huge gulp of air, your vocal cords slam shut to build up pressure, and then, whoosh, they fly open, releasing this massive blast of air to clear everything out. It's just a brilliant piece of biological engineering. Okay, so now we know how a cough works. Let's get to the real detective work. You see, every cough has a story to tell, and a good investigator knows exactly which clues to look for first. The very first, and honestly, the most important clue is the timeline. Just ask, how long has this cough been hanging around? If it's for less than 3 weeks, we call that an acute cough. That's usually your common cold or some other bug. If it lingers for 3 to 8 weeks, it's subacute, kind of like the annoying guest that won't leave after the party's over. But if it lasts longer than 8 weeks, now we're talking about a chronic cough, and that tells us the culprit is probably something more persistent. All right, clue number 2. What's the nature of the cough itself? Is it dry or is it productive? A dry, hacking cough, you know the one? It just feels like a constant tickle or irritation. That often points to things like allergies, asthma, or even some medications. But a productive or wet cough, where you're actually bringing stuff up, that suggests your body is in a battle, trying to clear out an infection like bronchitis. See? 2 totally different clues, pointing to very different suspects. And you know, beyond just dry or wet, some coughs have these really unique personalities that are almost like a calling card. That seal-like barking cough in a kid? Classic sign of croup. A crazy, violent coughing fit that ends with a high-pitched whoop sound? That's the hallmark of pertussis, or whooping cough. And what about a cough that mostly bothers you at night? That can be a major clue for asthma, or even something more serious like heart failure. These are like the fingerprints of specific conditions. So we've got our first batch of clues, the timeline, the nature, the personality. Now we can start to build a lineup of the usual suspects, especially when it comes to those really nagging chronic coughs. Believe it or not, for a cough that just refuses to go away, the investigation almost always leads to one of 3 main culprits. The first 2 kind of make sense, right? Postnasal drip, that annoying trickle of mucus down the back of your throat, and of course, asthma. But the third one? This is the one that surprises a lot of people. GERD, or good old acid reflux, where stomach acid creeps up and irritates your throat, making you cough. These 3 right here, they account for the vast majority of all chronic coughs. But what if the cause isn't an illness at all? What if the culprit has been hiding in plain sight this whole time? Let me introduce you to the ACE inhibitors. Now, these are super common and effective drugs for high blood pressure. But in some folks, they can trigger this persistent, dry, tickling cough. The reason is a bit complicated, but it's thought to be from a buildup of a chemical that just irritates the lungs. The good news? The clue here is crystal clear. You stop the medication, and the cough goes away. It's a perfect example of why your full medical history is such a crucial piece of the puzzle. Okay, now while this whole detective framework is great, it's time for a very serious note. Most coughs are totally harmless, but sometimes a cough isn't just a cough. Sometimes it comes with other signals, serious red flags that you absolutely positively cannot ignore. These aren't just clues anymore. Think of these as your body's alarm bells, warning you that you need to get things checked out right away. So please pay close attention here. If your cough is accompanied by any of these things, like coughing up blood, losing weight without trying, having drenching night sweats, or feeling short of breath even when you're just sitting still, it is time to stop playing detective. This is your body sending a very clear and urgent message. Go see a doctor. So, when you do see a professional, how do they put all these pieces together? How do they finally solve the mystery and figure out what's really going on?
Well, the absolute guiding principle in medicine is this. You treat the cause, not just the symptom. Think about it. Grabbing a cough suppressant is like hitting the snooze button on a fire alarm. Sure, it makes the noise stop for a little while, but it does absolutely nothing to put out the fire. The real goal is to figure out why the alarm is ringing in the first place. A doctor's investigation follows the same logical steps we've been talking about. It always starts with the story. Your detailed history, what's been happening, for how long, your lifestyle, that is the single most valuable piece of information. Then comes the physical exam, where they look for more clues. And finally, if they need more intel, they'll gather more evidence with tests, like a simple chest x-ray.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. A cough is not the diagnosis itself, it's just the signal. It's the opening line of a much bigger story. The real work, the real art of medicine, is in listening not just to the cough, but to the entire story behind it, because that's where the answer always is.
So, the next time you feel that tickle in your throat, just pause for a second. Before you reach for the medicine, listen. Listen closely. Ask yourself the questions. Become a detective for your own health and ask, what is my body trying to tell me?